What's up, guys? Ricci here, bringing you episode 10 of the F1 podcast. Episode 10. Andrew, episode 10.
We have touched the double digits.
I don't know what to say, but we're at episode 10. I just want to say thank you guys so much for the support so far. This has been a fun project for myself, Andrew, and Erica. For the last couple of weeks. I mean, we still got 3 more races to go, so we're not going anywhere. But I just want to say episode 10, we really love the support and everything. Erica sends her regrets at today's episode. She couldn't be here today, but she says, go McLaren as usual. Not surprised, but we could talk a little bit about that. So Andrew, and with my co-host Andrew.
Hello, everybody.
Yes, exactly. So we last talked about the Mexican Grand Prix. We did the preview 12 days ago. Our calendars kind of did not really work out on a number of things in order to do a post-match. So I don't really know how we're going to do this week's episode, but I think what we're going to do is we're going to focus on do a quick spiel about Mexican Grand Prix. We're going to touch a bit about Brazilian Grand Prix. And then we're really going to preview Qatar and just some of our thoughts. And there's been a lot in the last 12 days. Hey, Andrew?
Yeah, a lot of F1 news has happened, from the celebrations in Mexico to finally finalizing the driver's list for next season. Then to also the drama between Red Bull and Mercedes and what that ripple effect could be like throughout the F1 racing community, particularly especially in race and taking people on the outside.
Yeah, some very controversial race moves. Depends which fan base you ask. So I think that's definitely, and the F1 memes have been very clear of, this is Tom. He likes racing. Let's just keep like that. He's no Max or Lewis fan. But actually, I actually have a really funny story to tell you about watching the Mexican Grand Prix. I think the race was 2:00 it was on Eastern time?
No, I think it was 12. It was 2:00 there. It was like 12. It was definitely before football on Sunday, because I remember watching an hour before having to do the dual screen on my DAZN to watch Red Zone and then watching the rest of the race on the big TV.
So that's actually really ironic, because I went for a walk near my apartment, and I went to go grab coffee. I went to Jimmy's Coffee on Queen or something. And I was walking back, and my old roommate texted me. He said, "Hey, you watching the race?" And I was like, "Oh crap. I am not good." I didn't realize, because the timing has been throwing us all off.
Yeah.
So I literally ran. I was on King and Bathurst. I went to the Wheats Heath Tavern. I don't know, the Toronto's oldest bar. They have a big sign that says the Toronto's oldest bar.
Amazing chicken sandwich there, by the way. Like, their fried chicken sandwich is the best I've had in a long time. It's unbelievable.
Okay, we're gonna have to I'm gonna take you up on that, because I didn't get food there at the time, but I literally was like sweating buckets because I ran from Queen, and I didn't know where to watch the race, because I knew I was not going to make it back to my.
The beer is also pretty good too there.
Yes, it is. So I remember I got in there, and the girl gave me a table, and I was watching the TV, and sure enough, the person to my left was wearing a Mercedes hat. And it was I'm gonna give him a personal shout out. His name was Goopy, and he's from United Kingdom, and he was visiting with his wife, who is a Red Bull fan. She wasn't there, but we watched the race together, and he was a real good sport, even though he knew I was a Ferrari fan. But I remember he's like, "Oh, I got to go back to the wife and tell her that Lewis did not win the race, and she'll throw it in my face." But anyways, moral of the story, Goopy, it was really great to watch the race with you, and I hope you enjoyed the rest of the time visiting Canada. On to that note, just because of the schedule, quick 30-second spiel of Mexican Grand Prix. Andrew, what's your thoughts?
Red Bull domination nation, as we all predicted. Checo getting third place. Pretty much he looked like he got first place based on the way they celebrated. Mexico was a party. I would love to go to Mexico City one day and watch that race and celebrate with the fans.
So did you know that section of in that is a baseball diamond?
Yeah, it's literally like I put a baseball, it's turf over top of it. I think home plate is where they drive through, which is insane. I think that's an awesome spot. I really want to know what that track looks like, when it's not being used for a race with the baseball diamond in it. It would look interesting. But it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun track. I think a lot of high speed corners, a lot of medium speed corners. Like of course the high altitude really played well to Red Bull, and I thought it was going to play well to Mercedes, but they put a freaking rocket ship in their car or in their race car for Hamilton this past weekend.
Yeah, there's so much to talk about Brazil. But yeah, very quickly on Mexican Grand Prix. It was an atmosphere like no tomorrow. I think definitely one of the top in terms of fan celebrations. Like, for God's sakes, Perez got third place, and it literally felt like he won the world championship. You see his dad literally celebrating, and it's like, oh yeah, hey Max, you won the race again by 16 seconds. No biggie. But yeah, no, good. And then I think a lot of people did not really talk about this, but Pierre Gasly coming in P4 looked amazing in Mexico.
Like, not gonna lie, I'm pretty sure in the Mexican GP preview, and people can quote me or not quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure I said Gasly was gonna have a decent comeback. P4, not too bad. And likewise, in the sense too, like, with regards to Perez, good trivia to know he was the first Mexican to ever lead his home GP and finish on the podium in his home GP. And that's what a good car does to you. And it was great seeing. I think he was more so happy that that Red Bull won it for him in his home country and being a part of that winning team, because hasn't had a good car in the past when it comes to these races, and it's kind of very slim opportunities to win. But just to see that his team won, and I really like the photo of him and Max having the Mexican flag draped over them. I thought that was a really cool moment to share together. And I think they're going to be a strong team for years to come. I really think Checo and Max do really play off well. And Checo understands his role being the second driver, being able, if he has a chance to win, I think that'll be the case. But really being able to be that solidified Max partner has been a really key for Red Bull so far this season.
And that's very interesting, because we go from a very good race for Red Bull in Mexico to a whole different story in Brazil. And I think that's going to be a little bit of the focus of today's discussion. As you're probably aware, Lewis Hamilton, I think, honestly, this was his race of his life.
This was the most impressive race I've ever seen Lewis Hamilton have. He literally made up 25 spots.
We've seen dominance from him throughout his F1 career, but there's been a couple of, like, when he was in Brazil, when he won his first championship, to come back and beat Felipe Massa by 1 point. I always love when they put Felipe Massa up there just to remind that he lost by 1 point. It's just so funny. I don't know what F1's doing.
It's a wild dynamic, eh? Brazil hated Hamilton, especially in the Massa years when he overtook him for that 1 point. And like, Hamilton was not very fond of Massa as well. Like, they used to butt heads quite a bit on track. Funny how time heals all sort of wounds, right? I guess, because they seem to be pretty cordial in the interview, and they seem to, Brazil loves Hamilton now. So it's it's quite a turnaround. But
I wonder if that's the Netflix effect.
It probably is. I want to say though that if Hamilton wins the World Drivers' Championship this season, Brazil was the turning point.
Yeah,
because that was incredible.
And then for those who didn't get to watch the race, but basically Hamilton changed his gearbox, if I'm not mistaken. So he got a grid penalty.
He changed his internal combustion engine.
Thank you. Yes. And he started, what is it, the back of the grid on the sprint.
Yeah, because goes through pretty much, he goes P1 in qualifying.
Yeah.
Max goes and touches the right rear wing of the car, and the gap was a little bit big in terms of for the DRS infringement. So he gets slapped with the DRS technical infringement that disqualifies him for qualifying and puts him at B20 in the sprint, and gives Max a cheeky little 50,000, I think, pound or euro fine, which is pretty expensive. But honestly, at that point, I don't think he really cares.
Wait, no, you meant we're talking about Hamilton, not Hamilton.
No,
Verstappen
Max
get the 50,000. Yeah.
Best quote though from Max though with regards to that, he goes like, I think I thought I read a quote saying that with the $50,000 fine, he can't spend as much money on FIFA points now. And I was like, what a legend! He's one of us. I can only imagine what $50,000 worth of FIFA points can do for your team. Like,
you literally have 99
damage.
You have 99 Messis in all of your spots.
Exactly. Just buy packs for days, and he can buy every player he wants.
I think my caveat moment was when Sebastian Vettel's like, I'm just gonna go touch his Hamilton's wing, and his engineer's like, no, don't do it. He's like, I'm just kidding. But maybe if I touch the front, it'll be 25,000.
I love it. But you know what? It's funny because like Vettel used to touch cars all the time, especially when like him and Hamilton were duking it out back when he was with Ferrari. So it's funny how close of the title race happens. And, you know, Massey comes in and the rule. I find the rules have become pretty focused on the top two drivers. And we'll get into this later with regards to what happened on Sunday and how this could affect the races going forward.
And then just to highlight quickly, Hamilton, as he said, you know, killed it in the sprint, and then
E20 to P5.
Yeah,
15 places in like 20 laps. Ridiculous. I think he caught 4 people right off the start. I was like, well, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I really screwed up not picking. Actually, I didn't have enough money to even get Hamilton for it. And then the race in itself. I mean, there's not much explanatory there other than Hamilton coming and dominating. And you know, I honestly, this might be Hamilton's championship. If I don't know, like there's a lot of momentum, and especially like I heard, I don't know who it was that was talking about it, but the next 3 tracks, they're not going to be easy tracks, especially for speed. As long as Red Bull can try to keep up, but I might give the edge to Mercedes going into Qatar. But it all depends on tomorrow's decision.
Yeah. So what John is alluding to is the FIA is going to provide their verdict on Mercedes' request or right to review the lap 48 incident when Hamilton veered wide, or when Hamilton was coming up on the right side of Verstappen, and Verstappen veered wide onto the outside, past track limits, kind of pushed Hamilton all the way outside, then back onto the track to keep track position. No incident was called on it. It was deemed a racing incident. And I think it's going to be interesting in the case that, like, what if for future, you know, you have people trying to go on the outside and then you're getting pushed wide. That just sets a precedence for allowing people to utilize the off part of the track. Like, I get it's a racing incident, but like, I think it's pretty clear Max had made no intention to keep it in the track. He clearly pushed Hamilton wide to keep track position. Not that it mattered about 3 laps later when Hamilton passed it after Verstappen was weaving on the straights. But I think it can create a problem, or it could set a bad precedent going forward, in the sense that if, you know, more people try to go on the outside to pass in racing, or in these races, people are just going to push them over to the track limits, which they do. But like, it was pretty egregious in terms of Max was doing. So it'd be really interesting to see what the FIA says on tomorrow with regards to Mercedes' right to review. I've been hearing the penalty could be like a 3-point penalty for Verstappen, which would close the title to 11 close the gap to 11 points between the two of them. But if I'm Michael Masia, it's not a good week. That's for sure. He's taken a lot of slack or a lot of flack on Twitter and on social media with regards to his review. But yeah, it's kind of interesting in terms of people are thinking that the rules have been changing. The rules for Max and Lewis are different compared to the rules for everybody else on the grid, just based on what
everyone's just shrugging their shoulders. They're like, okay, true. Like, and especially if we, I'd be curious. My worrisome is if the ruling basically goes against Red Bull, it's going to be like, is this like a last minute attempt to try to like ensure Lewis wins again? I don't know. Like, how many times have we talked about this? Like, obviously the focus this year has just been on those two teams, and then whatever the heck happens in the middle between Ferrari, McLaren, AlphaTauri, or Alpine. I don't know. I personally think I agree with you. Like, it will set a bad precedence if it's like a full-on terrible response tomorrow. And that's what I'm worried about personally.
Yeah, and I echo your thoughts, because we really don't want the title to be decided like with penalties and whatnot. And to be honest with you, this Qatar track, I think really there's one long straight, and then it kind of reminds me of Budapest. There's a lot of turns, a lot of medium speed turns that it's going to be tough to overtake in. So I really think qualifying is going to be huge come Saturday. And since it's pretty much an even playing field, it really is going to be who can be best to adapt to this course at Losail or National Circuit.
Yeah, Pierre Gasly went out and said that the track is really fast, and he had a big giddy smile when he was talking about it. So we're definitely going to see some top speeds on that one strip. And I mean, it would, especially with Mercedes, like, and the momentum they had the previous race. I honestly think I'm going to give them the edge this week.
No, I think, like, especially with, again, the Hamilton pretty much making up 25 spots this past weekend. Like, he was in a rocket ship flying around that course in Brazil. And I don't know. I want to see. I'm tired. I love, I love F1 racing in general, just in terms of, I'm loving this battle right now. Part of me wants this to happen, John. I would love to see Hamilton finish first.
Okay.
Verstappen finish second. Valtteri or Perez gets the extra point on the fastest lap. Then we go to Jeddah, and we have Hamilton finish first, and Max finish second. And again, someone else gets the fastest lap. I would love to see them be tied going into Abu Dhabi for the final race. And I'm pretty sure that's what the FIA want as well, to maximize maximize their viewership. But again, we can't compromise rules and everything like that to do so.
So speaking about that, we were just talking before. Where should we watch the final race? I don't know, Andrew. The pod's got to find the race somewhere.
Abu Dhabi potentially. No, I can't afford that right now. Yeah, but I think it'd be fun. In the comment, I think it'd be fun to do kind of like a meetup of kind of watch the final race together with our fans. Whoever's interested in watching that, we'll keep you posted. Johnny Ricci will keep you posted on that going forward.
We'll find a spot. Like I had a lot of fun at that bar on King and Bathurst, but I know the Maddie has, like, I'm a Liverpool FC fan, and like that's where all the Liverpool fans go to watch games. If there is like an F1 bar that is dedicated, I mean, if you're a Ferrari fan, you got to go to Cafe Diplomatico in Little Italy, because they said they will show anything Italian there. So if Ferrari's racing, they're showing it. I'd be curious in the comment section if there's actually a bar dedicated to Formula One. Like, the pod will go, we'll support local, we'll support local business, because that's what we love to do. But we'll also watch a great race in Abu Dhabi. So please put in the comment section below if there is an F1 bar that the pod should maybe even do a live stream from there.
Well, I'm game. I'm totally game.
Yeah. Anyways, so that's really exciting. So also some big news. I think you probably wanted to talk about this. We've finalized the last driver in the spot. So do you want to take that away? I think you were eager to talk about the new signing.
Yeah, so it was announced
this
week.
Romeo.
It's announced this week that China's we'll have the first Chinese driver in Formula One, with Guan Yu Zhao. He's he was Alpine's reserve driver, or he's part of the Alpine reserve, Academy team this year. He's second in the F2 championship right now, and he's going to replace Antonio Giovinazzi for the final seat at Alfa Romeo. I believe Zhao is the one. The big reason why he's coming is that he comes with a pretty hefty sponsorship tag. I think around 30 to 35 million.
To 22 years old.
Yeah, he's a 22-year-old, and I think Fernando said it well. He said this is a very big race. This is a very big move for not only China and marketing and getting F1 growing in China, but also just for F1 in general. Seeing that, and Zhao seems to have proven himself in the F2 racing and proven himself over the years. But again, I'm always worried about these pay drivers coming into F1.
Yeah, I mean, look what happened with Nikita Mazepin. Is like,
I do say so. This though, I have given Mazepin a lot of shit, but
just a little
bit, But I saw his post qualifying reaction in Brazil, and I kind of have a soft spot in my heart for this guy now because you could tell it's really painful on his face, and you never want to see a guy in anguish like that, even as much as people think he is a bit of an a-hole. But he's trying his best, and he can only do so much with what has been provided to him with that car at Haas. So, I really hope Haas next year
gets a point. No, they gotta get
or just figure it out. They gotta figure it out, because if they don't, it's gonna be bye-bye to another team.
I think the goal would be nice that they get 1 point this season. At least they can celebrate that they got to 10th place or something. Like, I know this year has been mostly development with two young new drivers with Schumacher and Mazepin. But like, that would really, even if they can make it to Q2, well, actually, no, they've made it to Q2 a couple of times. But I think that would be the big thing. I think also with, I'm just trying to think, how do I phrase this? Yeah, I'd be curious to see with that. And actually, Andrew, I don't know if you know about this, but I think there's now 9 drivers that have come to F2, and it really goes to show the success of the F2 program for Formula 2. Like, you have Leclerc, Pierre Gasly, you have George Russell, and you have Alex Albon, Mick Schumacher, Nicholas Latifi, Lando Norris, and oh gosh, I'm forgetting one more. Oh my gosh, I'm forgetting it. Anyways, but it really goes to show that, like, they don't call Formula 2, they call it the road to F1. Like, it's really good to see that the success of that program, and just see the amount of drivers that have come out. So yeah, 9 in total, sorry. But yeah, no, it's good to see just the success of F2, and just having 9 drivers kind of go. Sorry. Yeah.
Sorry. 9 drivers. No, definitely 9 drivers. Like, it just goes to show how good the F2 Academy was in to F1, despite having enough money, whatever. But anyways, I think what the FIA have done with their academy programs have really grown, and really be able to showcase or really provide a platform for these drivers to grow.
Yuki Tsunoda, that's the last one I forgot.
Yeah,
I named all of them except for Yuki. So
it happens.
What about the mid-pack this weekend? What's your thoughts going in for them?
I honestly think the fight for third place is over. Ferrari have kicked McLaren in the teeth, And it's pretty much like these past 2 races, they have dominated McLaren. It's actually quite impressive to watch. The turn 1 incident with Lando, I think it was Lando's fault because he did go on the outside to try and make the move on Sainz, and Sainz got squished.
Yeah,
punctured Lando's tire. I think even Lando admitted to it too. They were Charles and him were golfing this week, and there's definitely no
there's no animosity.
No animosity between Carlando's still a thing for sure. Like, I think they understand it's racing, and your competitors on the field, but it can be friends off the field, so to speak, or in that case. So, but I really don't see McLaren pushing Mercedes or Ferrari at all. I think it's pretty much Ferrari's going to be 3rd, McLaren's going to be 4th. The real big battle, to me, is between Alpine and AlphaTauri,
and especially that Alpine had a great race weekend last weekend too. They've been kind of in the dust the last couple of weeks, so it's good to see Ocon and Alonso get points for the team, because that's really big, because now they're both AlphaTauri and Aston Martin are tied going into Qatar. Sorry.
I think what AlphaTauri needs to Tsunoda to really support Gasly in this fight, because Gasly's kind of doing it on himself right now. I think Alonso and Ocon work really well together at Alpine, so that should be a really interesting battle for 5th and 6th. It's pretty much, I think, Aston Martin are going to stay 7th. They've been like really disappointing this season. I think everyone's going to say that, and I really don't think, like, they just can't find the tire correctly or can't find the speed in qualifying. They have good race pace, just can't find it in qualifying. I don't know if it's they can't get the temperatures to right temp or whatnot, but I think, like, as a result, Aston Martin aren't going to score any points this weekend, because I think this track is going to be very hard for overtaking just on the one straight. And I think it's going to build those cars that have the, aerodynamics are going to be key this week, and so is power. So especially with a lot of these turns.
So I actually just got a note from somebody. He sent us one of our listeners, and I'm actually going to direct this one to you, because I feel like you would be best to deal with this question, and I want you to be quite honest. Do you think Aston Martin signed the wrong F1 champion?
Who is available else? Alonso?
Yeah.
I'm going to say no. I think it's the car. It's more so the manufacturing of the car than it is the driver. I think Vettel's done a pretty good job in terms of maximizing that car's opportunity throughout the season. I think Alpine have a better car than Aston Martin do overall, and Alonso's been able to do play the lock on well. But Vettel has had opportunities to win races. He came second in Azerbaijan. He came second in Hungary, albeit he got disqualified. And it's finishing higher than Alonso has this year. Yeah, Alonso's been more consistent, but he's got a better car, in my opinion. I don't think. Ask me this question next season, when Aston Martin go through a pretty big rebuild in terms of their facilities. Ask me this question next season.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I think it's still too early to tell in one season. Obviously we've mentioned in the pod, like, there's the focus on the next year's car. And like, look, Vettel's proven that he can drive. Like, obviously it's not ideal positioning, but he I was just trying to think, like,
he's not a 4-time world champion for nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and he's also like, I think he's leading this year in overtakes.
Yeah, I think him and Alonso were tied. So the racecraft is definitely there, especially in that kind of vehicle and that car. I think it's just Aston Martin have done a really bad job this year of putting a competitive car together. And I wouldn't blame Vettel. I'm kind of really disappointed with Stroll. I don't think Stroll's had a very good season at all. and it sucks to say it because I love my Canadians. I want him to do well, but he hasn't been able to find the pace. He's kind of got caught out in strategy a couple of times, but nevertheless, he's always been number 2 in that team to Vettel.
Yeah. I totally keep forgetting that they have Nico Hulkenberg as their reserve driver.
I love it.
Hulkenberg. Am I doing the Daniel Ricciardo impression?
Well, Hulkenberg. I gotta love
it. Yeah, I think we're gonna have a fun weekend. I'm really excited to see what the decision's gonna be tomorrow. I didn't check what the weather's gonna be like this weekend.
Well, in the middle of a desert.
So they're racing at night.
Racing at night.
Yeah.
Based on
this will be our first night race. Sorry to keep interrupt you twice.
No, it's all good. It's all good, my friend. All good.
Night race.
Yeah, back to the night races. Thankfully, I think this one will be a night race. Jeddah's going to be a night race, and then Abu Dhabi's going to be like a twilight into the night race. So we're going to finish 3 night races to end the season, which is going to be awesome. But so this track was built, I think, in 2004. The tarmac has not changed. They haven't rebuilt any or repaved any of the roads or any of the track since 2004. So they're saying that tire degradation could be a pretty significant thing this week. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of strategy. Is it a 2-stop strategy? Some were hinting at maybe it's a 3-stop strategy. So it'll be very interesting to see how that goes.
So would you do 2 mediums and a soft if you can, or would you?
I would try to think laps. You'd want to keep it to this. You would try to keep it to a 2-stopper at most, because I think it's 57 laps this weekend. But it'll be interesting. Again, this is the coolest thing about this race. No one has any data on what is going to happen. All they've done is a track walk, and they won't know data until free practice tomorrow. So these free practice sessions are going to be crucial to see who gets a competitive edge this weekend. There's 2 people who have driven this track in competitive racing that are in the F1 lineup right now. Mazepin did in 2014. I don't know for what, but Checo did it in 2009 in MotoGP 2.
Oh, yes,
as well. Yes. So you could give them the edge. That was years ago from the racing, but this has been traditionally a MotoGP track. And if you want to get a good checkout of the track itself, go to Formula One's YouTube page. They had the Aston Martin safety car drive around it today. It seems like a lot of fun. It seems relatively all flat. So it's going to be a lot of twists, a lot of turns. And with I think it's like a 1-point-some-odd kilometer straight. I really think it's going to bode well for Mercedes this weekend, John.
And this is what we love about the sport. It's not guaranteed anyone's going to win because anything can happen. I'm literally looking at the track right now. I don't know what the Pokemon is, but it kind of looks like a Pokemon. Have you seen that the F1 meme post about this?
Yeah.
I don't know. It also kind of looks like a shoe, because you ever had a shoe? I don't know if it was like skateboarder shoes where you have like the sole or like it kind of flips out. And yeah, it literally looks like a shoe too.
To me, it looks like a really weird deformed hand.
Yeah, okay, I can see a little bit of that. Yep. Yeah, 57 laps. So it's going to join the calendar again in 2023, and it's going to be part of a 10-year contract. And they're going to be building. So it's going to be here. Then they're going to move to a new purpose-built circuit in 2023. Race will be the 4th full night on the Formula One calendar, following the Singapore, Bahrain, and Sakir Grand Prix. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So that actually, no, this is technically not our first night race this year.
No, Bahrain was our first one.
Yeah, first one. Okay.
I love night races though. I think it's just a cool, totally different atmosphere. I think it's going to be awesome.
Singapore does a nice Singapore does a nice night race.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And who rules at Singapore?
Ferrari. Particular
Sebastian,
Charles Leclerc.
Sebastian Vettel.
Sebastian Charles has won, I think, there too. I think with Ferrari he won last in 2019.
No, that was Vettel because they gave Vettel the position, and that's what the controversy was. He was the lion of Singapore, I guess. Bonotto called him because he won that I think 5 or 6 times. But yeah, no, it'll be. I think we're in for a real treat this weekend. Any last comments before we kind of go into roundtable? I just want to first say thanks everybody for supporting Andrew's Movember. How's the Movember stash coming, buddy?
Oh, it's looking good. I got the handlebars going. Probably shave around it tonight, and yeah, it's getting greasy though. It feels a little greasy after 18 days.
Do you got any? Do you leave any food stains in there that you just get hungry?
No, I wash it every day religiously, and I have some nice like beard oil or some mustache oil that I put on. No wax because I feel like the wax is kind of a little weird, but no, it's for a good cause. I'm halfway to my goal. It's half the month left, so gonna push these last 12 days.
Yeah, I will. Again, I will post. I was happy to donate and make sure to. I'll post your link in the comment section below again. So yeah, we're looking for a lot of feedback from our supporters. We're looking for a bar to watch the race, for potentially a fan meetup if it's safe to do so, at the bar. Yeah, we support Andrew's Movember page. Also want to say thank you for everybody who supported the Legion and wearing a poppy during Remembrance Day and leading up to Remembrance Day. Appreciate all the support you had there too. And special shout out to Erica, our other co-host. She killed it. I went and saw one of her performances for Second City, and absolutely amazing. I think that was the weekend where they were doing it was a weekend of all theater shows. She absolutely killed it. All Together Now, that's what the name was. So it was a lot of fun to support her. And hopefully she can make it to the next episode. I think she said to us she will, so that's good. But on that note, it's Ricci here, episode 10 of the Formula One podcast with our co-host Andrew.
Good night, everybody. Looking forward to the race this weekend. I think Mercedes are going to come on top with Max finishing second, and then I'm going to say a Checo third.
Hamilton, Verstappen, Perez. I'm going to go Perez. I feel like something's always going to happen to Bottas, as it always does every time I pick him for fantasy. Make sure to hit that like, subscribe button on YouTube. Follow me on Twitch at Ricci. Also, we are on SoundCloud. I haven't been posting on that, but just make sure to follow on that. Also, just off topic, any video games that you're playing lately, Andrew? I just got the new Call of Duty Vanguard, and it's pretty good.
I have been absolutely spending a lot of my time on F1 game and driving the new Jeddah Street Circuit. That's not even built yet in Jeddah, but it's built on the game. It's a lot of fun. Other than that, I've been playing a lot of NHL 22 as well.
Yeah, I just got the GTA through Xbox Game Pass. I got the GTA San Andreas remastered version. We don't have to get into this. Very disappointed with it, but I think that's going to be my own video on my YouTube channel. I'm going to do like Ricci reviews, and I will talk about it. But anyways, Andrew, you like to close these things out, so I'm going to turn it over to you.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. And most of all, don't forget to like and subscribe.
I can't even talk that. So thanks, everybody. We'll see you in episode 11 of the F1 podcast.
Peace.